Have you ever been in a conversation where a man says, "It's not a big deal," but to you it is? Where he says one thing, and somehow you hear something completely different? You're not alone. This is one of the most common emotional disconnects in relationships. Not because one person is wrong, but because men and women often speak different emotional languages. What a man says is often based on logic, simplicity, or even silence. What a woman hears comes through emotion, context, and nuance. This video is not about blaming anyone. It's about understanding. We'll break down the emotional translation gap and uncover the hidden meanings, misfires, and misunderstandings that quietly damage relationships. Men and women are raised with different emotional rules. From childhood, boys are told, "Be strong. Don't cry. Fix it." Girls are told, "Talk about it. Share your feelings. Be gentle." So when they grow up and enter relationships, men often speak in actions and short phrases. Women communicate through connection and layered emotion. This doesn't mean one is better. It just means we're wired differently. Let's look at a simple example. He says, "I'm fine." He means, "I don't want to talk about it right now, but it's manageable." She hears, "He's hiding something from me." He's emotionally shutting down. Why? Because women often use "I'm fine" when they're not fine. So they assume the same when they hear it from men. And just like that, a harmless sentence becomes the beginning of silent tension. Here's the truth. Words are filtered through past experiences. What he says is shaped by how he thinks. What she hears is shaped by how she feels. Add in past heartbreaks, trust issues, or emotional trauma. And even innocent phrases can trigger anxiety, anger, or confusion. That's why we're doing this. In the next section, we'll break down 10 everyday phrases men use and explore what women often hear instead. This isn't just about words. It's about emotional survival. Let's dive into the most common phrases men use in relationships and what women emotionally interpret when they hear them. These aren't just words. They're emotional codes, and they don't always translate well. 1. I'm fine. What he means, "I don't want to get into it. I'm okay for now." What she hears, "I'm upset, but I won't open up. You have to figure it out yourself." This simple phrase can lead to silent panic. To many women, "I'm fine" sounds like a locked door. She starts wondering, "Did I do something wrong? Why won't he talk to me?" 2. You're overreacting. What he means, "This doesn't seem like a big deal to me." What she hears, "Your emotions are too much. You're irrational." This one cuts deep. When a woman hears this, she feels dismissed. Like her feelings aren't valid. Like her truth is too loud. 3. Just relax. What he means, "I want to calm things down." What she hears, "Stop being emotional. You're making things worse." It sounds simple, but to many women, relax is a trigger. It feels like a command. Like her stress is a problem to be fixed, not understood. 4. It's not a big deal. What he means, "Let's not stress over this." What she hears, "What matters to you doesn't matter to me." Dismissal. That's what she feels. Because if it's a big deal to her, she wants it to be a big deal to him too. 5. I didn't mean it that way. What he means, "You misunderstood my intention." What she hears, "Your feelings are wrong. I get to decide what hurts you." Intent versus impact. He meant no harm, but she felt the pain and now feels guilty for feeling it. 6. Can we not talk about this right now? What he means, "I need time to think before we continue." What she hears, "You're too much. I want to avoid this. Maybe even avoid you." Delays feel like rejection. She needs resolution, but he needs space. Two needs colliding. 7. That's not what I said. What he means, "You're misquoting me." What she hears, "You twist everything. I can't talk to you." Now she feels accused, like she can't trust her memory or her feelings. 8. I'm just tired. What he means, I'm emotionally or physically drained. What she hears, I don't want to connect. Something's wrong with us. Fatigue sounds like emotional distance, and silence feels like absence. 9. Whatever. What he means, I give up. I don't want to argue. What she hears, you're not worth the effort. It sounds like defeat, but it feels like abandonment. 10. I love you, but. What he means, I care, but I need to express a concern. What she hears, the love is conditional. Something's wrong with me. That but erases everything before it. These misfires happen not because we don't care, but because we don't always speak the same emotional language. In the next part, we'll talk about how to translate better, how to hear with empathy, and speak with understanding. So, how do we fix this? How do we go from confusion and misinterpretation to connection and clarity? The answer isn't to change who we are. It's to learn each other's language. Speaking head step 1. Don't assume. Ask. When you hear something that hurts, confuses, or triggers you, pause, and instead of reacting, ask. Can you help me understand what you meant by that? It sounds simple, but this one sentence can dissolve entire arguments. You're not accusing. You're inviting. You're saying, I want to hear you, not just react to you. Step 2. Reflect what you heard. This is called active listening. Let's say he says, I don't want to talk about it right now. Instead of assuming he's shutting you out, try, okay, I hear you need space. Just so you know, I'm here when you're ready. This makes him feel respected, and you feel emotionally safe. Revolving hearts step 3. Replace reaction with curiosity. Next time you feel hurt by something he said, pause and ask yourself, is this about what he said or how I heard it? Often, our reactions come from old wounds, past relationships, childhood, insecurities. If a simple phrase brings up big feelings, it might be about more than just the moment. And that's okay. Curiosity softens judgment. It makes space for healing conversations. Handshake step 4. Speak your feelings, not just your thoughts. Sometimes women explain what happened, but not how it made them feel. Try this. When you said relax, I felt dismissed. Like my feelings didn't matter. Notice you didn't say, you made me feel dismissed. You owned your feelings. You didn't blame. That's powerful. That's connection. Light bulb final thought. We don't need perfect communication. We need honest and empathetic communication. Because what he says and what you hear doesn't have to be a war. It can be a bridge. Soonero in the next part, we'll talk about the role of past experiences and emotional triggers and how they quietly shape what we hear, even when no harm was meant. Let's get honest. Sometimes, what your partner says isn't even what hurts the most. It's what it reminds you of. A tone, a phrase, a silence. They all echo things we've heard before. From parents who didn't listen, exes who made us feel invisible, or moments when we were dismissed, abandoned, or unloved. And now, even when someone says something harmless, your brain goes, wait, this feels familiar. And not in a good way. Brain, how emotional memory works. The human brain is wired for survival. It stores emotional memories, especially painful ones. So when you hear, you're overreacting, your mind doesn't just hear him. It hears your father, your teacher, your ex, everyone who ever told you that your emotions were too much. Even if this man didn't mean it that way, your body reacts like it's under attack. That's not weakness. That's trauma whispering. Protect yourself. Triangular flag trigger phrases to watch for. Here are a few seemingly normal phrases that often hit emotional nerves. Calm down. You're not allowed to feel this much. Let it go. What matters to you is inconvenient. I said I'm sorry. What else do you want? Stop needing reassurance. I didn't do anything wrong. Your hurt isn't valid unless I agree with it. It's not just what's said. It's what your history attaches to it. Red heart self-awareness is power. When something hits you hard, ask yourself, am I reacting to him or to someone from my past? This isn't about blaming yourself. It's about freeing yourself. Because when you name the wound, you stop bleeding on people who didn't cut you. And you stop assuming every conflict is proof that you're unlovable, too emotional, or too sensitive. Seedling healing starts with one choice: awareness. The more you understand your own triggers, the less they control your reactions, the more grace you'll give yourself and your partner. We all carry emotional baggage, but we don't have to unpack it all at once. Sometimes just saying, "Hey, that phrase really hurts me, and I'm still learning why," is the bravest thing you can do. Soon in the final part, we'll talk about how to build trust, express love more clearly, and stop talking past each other and start talking to each other. Words are powerful, but what gives them meaning is the emotional space between two people. That space can be a battlefield, or it can be a bridge. So how do we turn misunderstandings into deeper love? Lightbulb tip 1. Choose understanding over winning. In every conflict, ask yourself, do I want to be right? Or do I want us to be okay? Arguments often come from needing to defend ourselves. But what if we paused and chose to understand first? What if we believed, he's not trying to hurt me, he's trying to be heard too? Revolving hearts tip 2. Make emotional safety the priority. When people feel safe, they talk more. When they feel judged, they shut down. So instead of saying, "You always say the wrong thing," try, "When you said that, I felt hurt. Can we talk about it?" One builds a wall, the other opens a door. Compass tip 3. Create shared meaning. In every relationship, couples develop their own emotional language. Maybe "I'm fine" becomes a code for "let's revisit this later." Maybe "I need space" becomes "I love you, but I need to breathe." Talk about your needs. Redefine the phrases that used to hurt. Turn triggers into trust. White heart tip 4. Love is not always loud. Sometimes men love through silence, through doing, through being present. It doesn't mean they don't care. It just means they show it differently. So instead of asking, "Why didn't he say the right thing?" ask, "What does love look like from him?" And tell him what it looks like for you. We're not mind readers. We're learners. Glowing star final words. What men say. What women hear. It doesn't have to be a never-ending battle. It can be a lesson in compassion, in slowing down, in asking one more question before assuming the worst. If we can just pause, listen, and choose softness over defense, we might just realize we were always on the same side. Outro call to action. Speech balloon share in the comments. Has there ever been a moment where you completely misheard what your partner meant? Brain, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone you love. Together, we're building a more emotionally connected world. Stay calm. Stay kind. Stay connected.